Hello. Today we'll be going over the CRM system. So to find the CRM system, we go under Members, and it's right under here. So it helps admins track communication with members and prospects. It can also allow for admins to set up reminders for themselves or other admins to communicate or follow up with certain individuals. Certain things that you can do would be automatically recording communications, either sent through our system, such as broadcast messages, billing inquiries, drip marketing campaigns, and we also have the ability to track emails that are sent outside of our system by admins, as long as it's set up correctly. So right in here, the main menu, it's going to show you, firstly, if you want to search for someone. So you can search by their last name, business name, etc. So let's put in test. Once you start typing, it'll show you a list. So if we were to, let's say, click on one of these, we'll see this record, phone number, email. If you have prospect temperature set up and their prospect record type, it'll go ahead and display that. It'll also have the address. And then if, let's say, you communicated with them via a phone call or something like that, you can record a new contact. So we have all of these contact types. If you want to set up more, what you can do is in the main menu, you'll go up to Configuration, and we will scroll down to CRM System. So from there, we'll go to Contact Types, and then you can go ahead and edit or create new ones. So it'll have the contact type, and then if you want to change or delete, if you want to add a new contact type, you can do that right here. So let's put this as test. You can also put it as a checklist item, which we'll go over. Let's go ahead and continue. So if we go back and we refresh this page, now we have our little test contact type. You would add details, so what the conversation was about. Let's say that you didn't necessarily talk to that member or that prospect in particular. You can go ahead and put an alternate person. So perhaps you talked to one of their staff or an assistant. You would just put that in here. It would still be connected to that individual's record, but it would just say, I didn't speak to that person directly. I spoke to someone else. The date, so if it's not today, which it'll default to, you can select a different date. You can notify other admins. So you can email this information to other admins, and then you can also mark as important. So let's say this was an important contact. So if we put details here, alternate person, we can continue. Now you see it's recorded the details right here, the person, so on behalf of this record or this person. Since I am Jane Admin, that is what is going to come up here, and then the date of the contact. These right here are marked as important, so you can click on those, and it'll come up in red. Also, if you set up admin reminders, which will email the admins, you can also allow for it to show up in the admin menu. So if you wanted to set up new admin reminders, or you can go ahead and let's say you have a series set up, and go ahead and add that. So now it'll show these two right here. That's a part of that series, the new member welcome series. And let's say that we already did this, so we mark it as done. And again, it will show that information. So we spoke on the phone, and then it'll record it here. Drip marketing. If you have drip marketing campaigns set up, you can manually trigger those. So if they don't meet the criteria for basically an organic trigger, such as they joined or they renewed their membership, and you want to manually go ahead and do that, you can start the drip marketing campaign. So it'll show it's scheduled, if it's been sent, and the message subject. And then you can go ahead and delete the program or delete the message. So that would stop that program. And then this right here would either just delete this or go ahead and stop that message from being sent. If they have cross references, those will be displayed here. And then any recent invoices. So it would be within the past 3 years. So that is the contacts. Also, if you have referrals, let's say you're referring a lead for a business, you can go ahead and record a new referral. So you can record as a specific contact type. So lead accepted. So who are you referring to this individual? What is their email and what is their phone number? And then any details that you want to go ahead and put in there. And then you can go ahead and put the quantity. So how many? So that would be those referrals are business referrals. So you can send referrals to members. And this would be in mass. So ask an expert. Testing person. Let's put that. We can put and details of the referral. If you want to go ahead and email them, or let's say we don't want to. So then you would select a category, and you can go ahead and if you have multi-select, or if you want to select multiple categories. So let's say it fits within this criteria. So those would be the business categories. So then it would show up anyone who meets that criteria. So let's say we want to select all. You can go ahead and select individuals if you wanted. And then if there's anyone that was not in this list, you can go ahead and search for them right here. So you would go ahead and continue. And then if you want to send an email to the person being referred, if you have social network, so passing leads, you can send that as well. And then you can also send an email to the member themselves, letting them know this is a referral, these are the details, etc. And then once you've confirmed everything, this is the person being referred. Do you want to send an email to that person? So the person being referred right here would not, since I did not set that. And then who are you referring them to? So these would be the members you're referring them to. And then if you are sending a message via the social network. Once you've confirmed that, you click on submit and those will be sent along. You can also follow up on those. So let's say you've already sent those leads out, you want to follow up. So you go ahead and click follow up, report on referrals, and you would go through this right here. So let's say we're waiting to hear from member, update results. You can see everyone who is waiting. We're waiting on the member themselves. So we have the email right here, the information, their first and last name, and then to whom it would all be sent to. And then you would just click on send the notifications. This is more of if your organization is handling business members, so companies rather than individuals themselves. So if you're passing along business information or clientele, if you want to refer clientele to specific members, that would be how you would use that. All right. So right in here, this is just a little graph of different contacts. So this right here would show 179 members who you had contacts with, while there were 39 prospects. So members would show up in blue, and then prospects would show up in this orange. You can also come over here, so contacts or admin reminders by member. So if you want to go ahead and track members, you can search for them right here, filter. So let's say we do test, filter. It's going to show up members by default, but you can go ahead and select prospects, or you can take a look at the prospect checklist. So if we went here, clicked on this one, it takes us back to that other page with all their information. If you want to click on prospects, it gives the same one, so you would click on them, and this would be that little checklist that we looked at, so the contact types, but you would, instead of contact type, you would have that as a checklist item, so certain things that you want to do, and the rest of it would be the same. You can also update their email or their mobile phone number. It'll also show when the record was added to the system, when they were last contacted, if they have any upcoming reminders, and then their temperature. You can also add a prospect right here, and then you can look at the prospect checklist. From here, this right here is going to take us to the same page. So instead of the members, it's going to default to prospects. You can also download a CSV of all of this information. And then admin reminders. If you have any of those, this would be mine. So me as an admin, all of my reminders, all admin reminders for anyone, and then all admin reminders, but it would be in a calendar format. And then it'll give me a quick rundown of my upcoming ones. So if we go to my admin reminders, we have my list right here. So I can mark it as done, I could delete it, or I could change the information within it. And there's also a CSV version if you want to download that. So if we wanted to go ahead and change one, it's assigned to me, Jane Admin. It is a projected contact type of general, but let's say it wasn't, it was male. And then the alarm date. You can go ahead and put a message in here and continue. And then if you wanted to, you can go ahead and mark as done. So that would have the contact details or the type, the details, if I spoke with a different person, and then the date. So it's going to default to today's date. All admin reminders going to show all reminders regardless of who it is attached to. And then a calendar format. Also, you can record mass contacts. So let's say I contacted a group of people. So we'll go ahead and click here. You can do by membership plan. So if there is a specific membership plan that you reached out to, perhaps it was outside of the system, and you didn't record it via the auto CRM, you could just select, all prospects, add them to the list, or any other member type. You can also do by category. So if you have the business categories set up, let's say we spoke to all cafes, it would show the list right here. Or if we spoke to, let's say, the election committee, and then you would add those to the list. So once you have all of them here, we'd go ahead and continue. What kind of contact? So it was a general contact. Let's say spoke with all members. You just add the details there. And this was the contact date. And then if you want to email this contact, letting them know, hey, I already reached out to these, so no one else needs to. Submit, and contacts are successfully added. And then we have a bunch of reports, so we can view all contacts by date or type. So between these two dates, let's say I only want to see who was sent mail. Let's go ahead and broaden this a little. Certain business categories. And then if you want to go by, specific users, you can also do that. And then you can also view deleted. So right here, it's going to show this person was contacted by mail. And here are the details. And then you can go ahead and download a CSV version. We have view contacts by individual member or prospect. So a certain person, you want to view the contacts for them. So we could select one. And then it would show whether they had been contacted. You can also view contacts by renewal month. So let's say that you're recording billing contacts, and you want to see, just want to make sure that everyone was contacted during their renewal month. So let's say it's for June, and we want to include anyone who was also dropped. You can also limit by member types. Then it shows these are the ones that were contacted, how many times, and this right here is based on the renewal month. So they are set to renew. Looks like their expiration dates are right here. These individuals are dropped. And then you'll see that they've been contacted a certain number of times. Then you can go ahead and view all admin reminders by date or type. So let's say from the beginning of the year till now, I want to see anyone who was contacted, ask an expert. You can select different users. So these would be the admins, either dropped or current, or if you just want to leave it at all users. So you'll see no one was contacted regarding that type. And then we also have the contact type report. So it's going to show all contacts regardless of type. And then we have each contact type and then the number. So our little test one, it just had the one that we manually recorded. Now, if we go back into configuration for the CRM system, right down here, we have the general options. So record invoice statements. So this would be billing related. And then we have that type. So those contact types down here. So we want to make sure we're recording all of those as this type of contact. Then we have broadcast messages, newsletters, or drip marketing contacts. So we could have those just as communications. Then you can go ahead and grant CRM access to member reps. And then we also have displaying the checklist. So those little contact types, you display them as checklist items. We have referrals. So if you are referring different individuals to members, you can go ahead and set these up. So you can include an employer field. This is just for the referrals themselves. It adds another field. And then sending a notification with a broadcast messaging header. That's just going to make sure that it has that your header logo on there. And then if you want to go ahead and set up an alternate message to go along with the lead, you'd set that up right here. Auto CRM system. So these right here, if you want to go ahead and put, let's say mine is testing. So that's the email address that I am going to send emails out to members. That's, let's say, my personal email or my business email. I'm going to send it outside of the system. And any email that I send outside of the system, I am going ahead and recording that as a system email. And then I want to include a portion of the message body, so what I sent with the contact record. So it's going to be recorded in that contact. So when you're using this would mean that I am sending it via my email. I'm not sending it in the system. However, I am CCing auto CRM at whichever server that I'm on, which in this case would be MemberLeap. So I'm BCCing auto CRM at memberleap.com. And as long as the member themselves that I'm contacting is within the database, and there's only one record, and myself as an admin in the system using this email address, then it's going to automatically record in the contacts for that member that I sent with a portion of the body, letting them know or letting the system know I contacted them via an email outside of the system, and it'll have a little bit of that message in there. Contact types we went over, and then admin reminder series. So we always want to have a default user, so who is generally going to be using the reminders, but you can also always set them up individually, and then you would set up the emails right here. So it's similar to the drip marketing, but it's for admins. And then what is the trigger? So a member was added by an admin. All right. Once that happens, those admin reminders will be automatically set up for Jane admin because she is the default user. And then we would continue. And then these are the messages. So these are the reminders to the admin to 3 days after they are added to the system to call them, 180 days after they are added to the system. Make sure to call them for a 6-month checkup. And then you can change that and you put the little message in there and the projected contact type. So what do you expect to have that admin reach out to them? You can add more series, you can delete them, etc. All right, I hope that was helpful with the CRM system. Also, another thing, if you are in here in the database, you can click on the info for a specific record. And we also have the contacts. So it's similar to that other area that we looked at, but it's just going to show the general list, and then you can edit them right in here. So we're taken back to this page.